In this video of my adventure in Lake Atitlan region, you're gonna see a tuk-tuk with an in-flight entertainment system, a cat licking a bread, and me personally terrorizing the local children. So if you're into that, click the like button down there and let's get started. After finishing my adventure in Banahashel, I took a local lancha boat and began my town-hopping trip across Lake Atitlan. And the first stop is a small nearby village perched atop of a plateau overlooking the entire lake. And its name is Santa Cruz la Laguna.
Ya vi que estás aquí, tan cerquita de mí, y me hacía falta, porque la última vez que vine tú no estabas, baby. Oh, vamos a tomar toda la noche, mujer, te invito a bailar hasta el amanecer. Tú quieres jugar y no quieres perder, vamos a bailar, quiero verte mover lento, hasta que el llanto solo junte nuestros cuerpos, lento, yeah.
I'm finally here in a hostel, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Are you looking at it? Right behind me. Look, it's all volcano. Volcano, volcano, volcano. Yeah. And even stranger are these flowers. Like, I thought these are plastic. Look at it. It's like bluish green, right? And it has this really waxy texture. So like everyone thought it was, just fake plastic flower. But apparently it is one of those flowers I've seen in the morning, but just, a very exotic color. Look at this. Look at this. Like, that's just like unreal. Like, that's the real thing. And they dangle from the ceiling like this. And as I was getting ready to explore the town, I met this girl called Rachel from Sweet Home, Alabama, and decided to share a tuk-tuk up the steep hills so we can cut down the cost and find someone to share the view. And what a ride it is! Wow, so now we're finally up here in the town, and you can see that's the road that comes into the town. Yeah, it's all dirt road, heavy duty onlys. That's why here in the town you can only find these tuk-tuks or very heavy duty 4x4 Toyotas, Hilux usually. Alright, and yeah, they call these paletes, and you can usually carry a few people in the back like this. And it costs about, $5-6 quetzales, less than $1. Yeah, every single one of these cars. Otherwise, no other option to get here other than taking a boat. But, just take a look at these views. All the tall mountains surrounding us, and in front of us, a gigantic volcanic lake. And in order to enjoy the rugged charm of Santa Cruz a little bit more, we decided to have dinner in a local restaurant overlooking the entire lake. And the most impressive and hilarious thing is that they put the tortillas in a very fashionable bag covered with local style embroidery. And I got a little bit creative.
I think you're crazy.
Vamos a tomar toda la noche, mujer, te invito a bailar hasta el amanecer. Tú quieres jugar y no quieres perder, vamos a bailar, quiero verte mover lento, hasta que el sol junte nuestros cuerpos, muy lento. Más tarde vamos a enloquecer, y si me dejas tú serás mi mujer. Cuánto se nota que me quieres comer, por eso sé que vamos a enloquecer.
And around dinner time, every single church in the town was organizing religious concerts played by local volunteer bands, with the volume tuned to 100% and beyond. I guess the purpose is to spread the word of God as far as possible and attract as many visitors as they can. here's another one where the band mostly consisted of kids. And let's just say that their songs are not topping Billboard charts anytime soon. Next morning, while enjoying the best breakfast that Lake Atitlan can offer, I started doing this weird mating ritual dance. Probably because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or perhaps I met a very flappy local friend.
Ya vi que estás aquí, tan cerquita de mí, y me hacía falta, porque la última vez que vine tú no estabas, baby. Dime qué quieres, sin reproche, que solo te lado de ese broche, vamos al oscuro, hasta las 12. Ay, sí que tú me conoces. Suavecito vamos hasta abajo. Tú tomas tequila, yo voy con refajo.
Now finally for today's activity, got some free kayaks from the hostel, and well, they have a 2-person kayak, so it's easier, to split the work, right? So I do the filming, someone else does the rowing, just how it works, That's capitalism at its finest. Yeah, look at the beautiful lake, tranquil water. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel, for doing all the hard work.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, of course.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, otherwise, you'll be swimming right now. Oh, shit! We're approaching one of the famous houses lodged on the ridge here. Casa del Mundo, the house of the world. And we're surrounded by beautiful, beautiful jungle. Buenas! Descansa! Tomando un descanso, see? Taking a break? Yeah, nice. Oh, look at this house. Wow. For this house, probably the only way to get here is, by boat.
Sin reproche, que solo te lado de ese broche, vamos al oscuro, hasta las 12. Ay, sí que tú me conoces. Suavecito vamos hasta abajo. Tú tomas tequila, yo voy con refajo. Pasamos bueno, te gusta el relajo. Y de 100 billetes yo cargo un fajo. Vamos a tomar toda la noche, mujer. Te invito a bailar hasta el amanecer. Tú quieres jugar y no quieres perder. Vamos a bailar, quiero verte mover.
Well, a little bit of sailing later, I'm now here at Jabalito. It's a tiny little quaint town, probably one of the smallest along the lake. And you can see I beached my kayak here, and now it's time to do a little bit of exploring, huh? Look at this, so gorgeous. The rocks are colorful down here, and butterflies and hummingbirds. It's living the dream life, honestly. Let's go visit Jabalito. While walking around the village, trying to soak in all of the beautiful scenery and the quiet lakeside life, we ran into these 3 local boys who are probably having the best fun of anyone on the lake that day. Because who wants to ride a taxi?
Taxi! Taxi!
And now, introducing the bane of existence of children of Jabalito, the embodiment of pain and anguish, with the personality of burnt toast, the only Asian guy within 300-mile existence.
El Chino.
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Bien? ¿No tiene miedo? ¿Sí? ¿Sí?
In the public library. El Chino strikes again.
He's scared. I don't want El Chino to come for you.
Oh yeah, look, you're doing all this in a library. You're making them scream in the public library.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's El Chino, okay? This is El Chino. No, yo nunca voy a hacer nada. No voy a hacer nada. No, no. No voy a matarte. No voy a matarte. En serio. No.
Loco en la cabeza.
¿Qué? ¿Matar a usted? Ah, está bien. Vamos, vamos.
Sí.
No, otra vez. El chino perdido, el chino perdido. No hay otra vez. No hay más. El chino ha perdido.
He's stirring up the whole town. The town of 50 people.
No, it's actually a school inside, actually.
Oh.
You know, they're teaching classes, but you know.
And you're making them scream.
No hay otra vez. El chino ha perdido. Entonces,
Vamos a la escuela.
With the local kids successfully traumatized, it is time for us to move on to the next town over, called San Marcos. After hailing a local ride, we had a relatively not so smooth journey to this spiritual town. But in the touristy dockside area, I found some interesting insights into the local constructions. Oh, and take a look at these. Beautiful mural. Constructed like a Mayan word, you know? Left to right, up to bottom. And yeah, gorgeous murals. All the way down here. And you can see the inside is actually constructed of recycled bottles. This is the main structure. And just plaster all over it. But my favorite part of San Marcos is far away from the touristy area down below. Instead, it is on the rooftop of this restaurant owned by this lady called Juanita. We got a private dining experience on the terrace on the top floor, filled with local food and drinks that barely cost $3 or $4. And most importantly, I got to know Juanita a little bit better, and she even showed me something else that is cooking behind the counter. She has handmade these gigantic tamales that she agreed to sell us for less than $1 each. This is the true Lake Atitlan experience, not the vegan sushi restaurant that is down the streets, and definitely not the Indian restaurant owned by a German and run by an Argentinian. This is the local restaurant that they will tell you what the menu of the day is, and then proceed to cook the food and eventually bring it up to you just to sit down next to you and become one of your newest friends. And I cannot say I adore anything else more. But San Marcos is a little bit too small for us to stop over for the night, and we had to continue to a town a little bit bigger. So we hopped onto another boat and continued to the tourist capital, San Pedro la Laguna. Look at this. Welcome to San Pedro la Laguna. This is probably the second largest town on the entire lake, other than Panajachel. And we just arrived here and it's now pouring like crazy. So gonna take a little break and hopefully, we can find somewhere to stay. It's a completely different vibe, and this is just, you know, very crowded, very chaotic town taken over by foreigners and especially Israeli tourists. So this is gonna be really interesting. I'm looking forward to my stay here.
A few inches later.
Finally found a place to stay and found a great place to eat facing Indian's Nose, one of the most famous and notorious mountains here. You can see that it kind of looks like an Indian person lying down with their nose protruding out, right? And following this lancha, you can see the beautiful, beautiful town of San Pablo, high up out there. But I have a dinner, and apparently here they serve really, really good Israeli and Middle Eastern food because a lot of Israeli people do come here after their military service. So hopefully, you know, I'll get something authentic to show you. After having the best meal involving pita bread in my entire life, coupled with some crunchy fries and a very strange drink, I fell into deep slumber in the hostel, just to wake up to see a local lady washing her clothes in the most beautiful sunrise ever. The quiet lake reflected the wooden stumps basking under the sunlight in the morning, while the rhythmic flapping of wet clothes broke apart the rooster's calls. And the day was made even better with an unbelievably large Israeli breakfast, in some Hebrew that I would not dare to pronounce, accompanied by one fluffy friend resting on my knees. Oh, correction, 2 fluffy friends. Wait, another correction. 3 fluffy friends, and the last of which is a little bit hungry. But I did not come all the way to Guatemala just to enjoy Israeli and Hebrew for dinner, breakfast, and lunch. I also wanted to see what the locals are up to here in San Pedro, so we began walking around the busy streets. And quickly, we made some very interesting discoveries. And this looks like a typical playground for children, right? But actually, these are all things from the Bible. Right, so you can see the birth of Jesus. And of course the Jonah's getting devoured by the whale. Of course the famous Noah's Ark. And parting of the Red Sea. Because of the God, there is nothing that is impossible. Well, you know, you gotta start young, you know, when you're kids. You need to be Christian. Now here at the local gymnasium, I would say every town, big town, has one of these open air local gymnasium. But look at the art featured here on the wall at the stands. Just absolutely gorgeous. Right? There even says no to the privatization of water. Say no to war and say no to big pharmaceuticals. Yeah, and my favorite is here. All the Mayan ruins on corn cobs. And right here you can see kids playing basketball and the point of vaccinations here. So people are lining up to sign up for vaccination. The slogan here is vaccination is free, safe, and voluntary. So here people are lining up to get their vaccine. And here's the local park. Look at the beautiful hibiscus flower. Oh, this giant statue. And of course, you know, the mandatory. I love San Pedro. And right here is the center church. Just a little quaint town full of energy. And the kids playing with kites. No. Life continues normal here in the mountain. No matter how it goes outside. The people of Guatemala are so strong they can always adapt. However, the hustle and bustle of a busy town like San Pedro did not offer too much for us to see. So we hopped onto a tuk-tuk and went to the nearby town of San Juan. We crossed the ridgeline dividing the two towns that is barely 2 kilometers apart. And 10 minutes later, we were dropped off right in the middle of all of the artistic authenticity. Welcome to San Juan la Laguna. And this tuk-tuk is absolutely decked out. You can see it has at least 125 mirrors and an actual screen, you know. I've only seen it in taxis in like very modern city like New York or Shanghai. Then they'll include a tiny screen. But this shit is like crazy, amazing. Wow, we're now finally at the center of San Juan la Laguna. Just, you know, about a few minutes ride from San Pedro la Laguna. But here, there's no tourists, and probably one of the most impressive churches all around the lake region. Check this out. This is the last remaining church from the 1400s around this entire Lake Atitlan. And yeah, you can see, the age really shows. It's just gorgeous. Look at this. Yeah, and then if you go in, you can see that it's just absolutely gorgeous inside. It's almost like it's a coronation ceremony. Well, check this out. A beautiful, beautiful street full of murals and paintings. And on top of the sky, wow, just all hats. Hats everywhere. Yeah, and a lot of the hats actually have lights in it. While walking from the church to the Mirador, the viewing platform, I passed by a tiny little shop called Alma de Colores, the color of souls. So it turns out that this entire organization, Alma de Colores, is actually dedicated to local people with disabilities. Here in basically Central America or any third world country, if you have a disability, your life basically ends, right? There's no way for you to actually gain a different function in society if you lose a leg or you suddenly have no ability to speak. And this society tries to make a comedor, right? A little restaurant here behind me. While I'm waiting for my lunch, I'll take you to the little shop that they have set up by the streets. And you can see how they can actually earn a little bit of auxiliary revenue by operating on some sewing machines and other things to make souvenirs for foreigners. So whenever you pass by San Juan de la Laguna, please make sure to come by and stop so you can get people who are basically truly suffering here, have no other way out, a little bit of, you know, your financial support by buying something from them. So here you can see that it is the Alma de los Colores, this little shop. You know, it's painted beautifully, and they are making all of these items here. You know, tiny keychains and other things. You can find them here. Yeah, beautiful little earrings. And of course, you can put these on your hands. Great clothes. And yeah, the attendant, the male, is the only one who's able to speak. The other ones, you know, they are just basically making hola.
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 Yeah, these hola. These are the only people that are working here, and for example, the two ladies, both of them are unable to speak, and you can see that they're making a lot of things. Yeah, I do apologize for the sound, you know, that's just how it works in Central America. Está haciendo una pulsera, sí. ¿De cuánto tiempo necesitan para hacer una pulsera?
Como 2 horas.
2 horas, para cada pulsera.
Sí.
Mucho tiempo.
Sí, mucho tiempo. Sí, tenemos de este material, de ese macramé.
Sí.
Sí, macramé tenemos.
Ah, qué
Tenemos
lindo.
trabajo de tortugas.
Sí, ahora tortugas, ¿eh? They are making turtles, sí.
Tortugas. Aretes.
Sí,
Son
aretes. Aw,
Sí.
qué lindo.
Sí.
Ah, gracias, muchas gracias. Vamos a
No
comer,
tengas
sí.
pena, no tengas
Sí.
pena. Aquí estamos, a la orden.
Ah, qué lindo. So yeah, you can see these people need every single bit of help they can. So I'm just here using my tiny platform, trying to help these people. And the man who was introducing me to all of the items, he has a limp, so he cannot walk properly. And the lady who is serving us in the restaurant, she is missing a hand. So all of these people are good, honest people that deserve a little bit of help. After a pleasant lunch and an even more pleasant shopping session for souvenirs, we continued on to the famous viewing platform of San Juan, just lying there at the end of the street, so close yet so far. And the climb was absolutely gruesome with steep slopes and not very well maintained steps. But as the famous Chinese philosopher DJ Khaled once said, no pain, no gain. My God, this is really a lot of workout. But look at the view. And as a reward for climbing the hill behind me, look at that. Oh, I've decided to grab a choco banana, a local specialty, a frozen chocolate dipped in fresh, frozen banana dipped in fresh chocolate. And yeah, very good. Oh yeah, they're really good. Rachel, what did you get? Oh, you got one with nuts. Look at that. Oh, so good, right?
Yeah.
A brief walk to the dockside of San Juan concluded my adventure here in Lake Atitlan. I hope you enjoyed this extra length special video that took me a lot of time and energy to make. And if you did like it, please consider clicking the like button down there. And please make sure you subscribe to tune in for the next episode where I document the return journey and a special highlight reel for all of the best moments I have encountered in this great adventure. So I will see you very soon in the grand finale of this series.